So, hello there. Welcome to our stream. I activate the in-game sound. So if there's anything wrong with like sound-wise, too silent or something, or you want to hear the in-game a bit little louder, just let me know in the chat. We have the chat open here on the other screen. So yeah, we are Backpack Games. Actually, two of us. Another one of our developers is in the chat actually. So I think if you have any questions and we don't get to answer them in the stream, I'm pretty sure that Peter will have an eye on the chat and can answer some of your questions there. Aside from that, I think we will stream some of the gameplay, talk a little bit about Out of Place, what's our idea behind the game, and yeah, first, who are we? Thomas, you can go first.
Yeah, hi, I'm Thomas from Backpack Games, and I'm doing the 3D art and animation on the game. Peter, who is in the chat, is doing all the programming, and Mark is here. You might want to talk about yourself.
So I'm doing the level design and a little bit of lighting art, and yeah. So I think we can just head in. So if you have any specific art questions, Thomas is here, the guy you can talk to. And just let me put the microphone on the table. So I can talk while I'm playing with gamepad actually. And so yeah, let's dive in. I don't know how many of you guys already know what Out of Place is about. Out of Place is the story of Simon, whom you can see here. He's a teenage boy from like Northern Europe of our time, a little bit in the future, because we wanted to have so advanced machinery, stuff like that, which you won't see today, but maybe in the future when we are a little bit more advanced in development and have the intro ready and stuff like that. So he is a little afflicted, like he likes to tinker with machines, with machinery, likes to repair stuff, and this is why it is so easy for him to, like, in this distant world he gets thrown in, which you can see here, which we actually call Midhem. It is so easy for him to like get to handle the machinery of that world. So he has his sword with him, which will help him in some situations where he needs to fight his way through. And actually on the left side of Simon you can see the orb, which is our main ability system in the game. I will just show you the first tutorial.
Looks like some kind of barrier.
I can explain a little what is happening here. What is happening here?
Maybe that rune has something to do with it.
Per second. Yes, actually that's because of our setup. I think the webcam, the cam we're using is not able to stream 60 frames, so the whole stream has to be in 30 frames, but if you play the game yourself, which you actually can do, the demo is free for everyone right now on Steam during Gamescom, then I think you can do the 60 frames also. This is our ability menu, which you can see here, where you see those, it's actually two runes which are unlocked. One is the Overcharge, that one I'm selecting right now, and the other one is the shield, and you can slot them in those slots you see on top of the orb. If you close him again, the menu, you can see there's a tutorial with the buttons, which shows you which buttons to press to do certain actions in the menu.
Damn it. Why are you empty again?
Yeah, that was the Overcharge I unleashed after slotting it on top of the orb. And now he's empty. He doesn't have any energy left. The energy that you're using to unleash the abilities. And which is why Simon needs to protect him. He falls into his hands and he needs to protect him because he has no energy left to float around or to have any abilities
we'll get
ready
charged
for
up in
Simon
no time
to
now.
use. But let's see. that there looks like a charging station. Yeah, so I mean, some maybe interesting stuff about development happening. We updated the demos since I think it's almost 2 years already.
Yes.
We developed this in our master studies. And the most recent adjustments also include the one which you saw just a moment ago, which is the sprint toggle. You can now sprint toggle. So just press the button once and he will walk slowly or he will run. Before you had to press and hold the button all the time, which was a little annoying because
Let's go get you
yeah,
charged up.
you always want him to run, really. Like you don't want him to move slowly, especially in because during exploration and stuff like that. Yeah. So we
I'll try to
inserted
hold
the
them
orb
back.
into the charging station, and the orb is charging now. But as you can see, the machines of this world don't want us to charge the orb. On the contrary, they are stealing the energy back from the orb, which you are trying to charge into the orb. And which is why we need to protect him while he's charging and make sure that the machines don't steal all the energy back from him.
Alright, finally we can get rid of him.
So, we did it.
Holy
We recharged him, which
shit!
you can see he's glowing
That was
pretty
close.
bright. That means
Man,
he's fully
I'm
charged.
glad to have you back.
And what you just saw was the unlimited overcharge. So you can, as long as there are still machines around after charging the orb up, you are able to unleash the overcharge without consuming any of the energy that the orb has. So you're free to unleash overcharges as much as you like till you killed the remaining drones next to the charging station. Defeated. Yeah, we don't kill. They just dissolve. So,
Could this be a
these
human?
are, this is the first wall painting in the level actually. And we spread them throughout the whole environment in this demo.
This
And
be a
they are
human?
here to tell a little bit of the origin story of this world. And actually we didn't know that at the time, but this is a little teaser also, this particular one, because you can see one of the more rural tribes that exist in this world. I'm a member of one of the more rural tribes. And actually we plan to have another character later on in the game, which will be a member of this rural tribe, and who will be a little guide for Simon in this world and provide some tutorials maybe. So we haven't developed it yet, but that's the plan, to have him be like a friend to Simon, a guide that is actually from this distant world.
Hopefully I'll never have to meet one of those giant machines.
And this particular one actually, this tells about the real, the creation of the world. You can see the big machine standing on top of the mountains, so it's really huge. And this was actually the one that created this world, using the same energy that the orb has to create and form the environment. It also created the drones, made the drones little helpers for her to make them do a little smaller tasks that she doesn't need to do herself, like maybe doing some terraforming here and there, like some plants, moving some hills around or stuff like that, depending on what needs to be done. So I'm just reading a little in the chat here, and Trash Pool just said, "This looks amazing." I don't know why he's thanking us for being a Linux game developer, because I don't think we have a Linux build ready yet. But that is also something that we're looking into. We want to have Out of Place available for as much platforms and as much systems as possible. We don't know what the fight that Tim Sweeney, because we are developing with Unreal Engine, by the way. So we don't know what the fight between Tim Sweeney and Apple is holding for us in the future concerning Mac builds and stuff like that. But yeah, so you see I have some more enemies down there, but I'm able to plan ahead. Like I know, okay, there are 3 enemies down there. How can I defeat them? So my choice is I will slot 1 overcharge and then see. Oh, and I missed it. Nice. So as I said, you guys can head over. Oh, you're already on our Steam page, I presume. But just scroll down and then you're able to download the demo yourself. Have a shot at the demo. Tell us what you think. Like, the discussions are open. We always look in there, look what you guys say, collect your feedback. And these are really annoying dudes. Just from like the first moment we implemented those, they were annoying. Which is like their purpose, I think.
Shit!
So, another thing is if you defeat those little drones in the forest, you will get some energy back, and you can see the orb has now some sparkling around him. That means actually that he is overcharged, like he has more energy now than the max, which is pretty good for you because then you're able to unleash more abilities than before, and you have more energy to defeat your enemies and to use the abilities of the orb. I think I haven't shown the other ability yet, which I will do right now. The other ability we have in the demo is the shield. Looks like that. So you see it's a stationary shield. It is not supposed to being a shield you can just hold or like move around with. So it's a shield where the orb protects Simon using the energy, but Simon needs to duck down a little. So let's see what else have we here. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the backpack of Simon, actually we are called Backpack Games. The backpack was, I think we implemented it like 1 week or something, 2 weeks?
3 days.
Or 3 days. 3 days before we handed in the demo for our master's presentation. And so as you can imagine, we had 3 months, almost 3 months of development behind us, and then we implemented this backpack. We all signed on the backpack. Some of our friends that were with us from the other teams in our studies signed on the backpack. We put some stickers and buttons on there of stuff we like. So everybody got a shot at putting something he or she likes onto the backpack, and it turned out to be I think one of our favorite assets in the game. So we are thinking at the moment actually about how we can make the backpack a little more having more of a sense than just being there. We haven't
Purpose in the game.
I have purpose, but we haven't decided on anything yet. But I can think that this, maybe have some kind of purpose later.
What?
All kinds of ideas. So actually, you can see in the cutscene. This
What
is
is
one
happening
of the
here?
members we talked about of the rural tribe, but he seems to be afraid of something. I don't know if I want to go there actually, because he seemed pretty scared, and he is actually from this world and knows what is going on, as opposed to Simon, who is a stranger here, who doesn't know the environment or anything. Sora says the kid is carrying a backpack for promotion in game. So as I said, it's not for promotion or anything, it's just like stuff we like, we put on there. We implemented 3 days before the deadline for the demo, so it was not really a purpose behind it at that time. So yeah, so I will show you guys the backpack. So you can see it's a stationary shield. You see it's a stationary shield. You can hold it So let's see what is behind this hill.
What the hell?
Okay, that looks scary. This actually is one of the, bigger machines, I would say.
I'm gonna fight you!
But as you will see, even those bigger machines had a purpose once. Like, watch. It is spawning little rocks with its beam. So this was its purpose, like it was used before to spawn rocks to form the cliff environment around here. And now it sees Simon as like not supposed to be there, like he's a stranger, he doesn't belong there, he's removed, which is why it attacks him. It's not because it's aggressive or something. I mean they were like busy as guards, but actually they're doing it because Simon doesn't seem to belong there, doesn't fit into the environment. And Buckwheat already asks one of the questions we get over, which is okay. When is the game out? We can't nail down anything regarding that because like this is our demo we used in the Master Studies, doing our Master Studies, which is the first demo for the game to like more and less proof for us and others that we're able to do it, like we are able to develop the game. But the real development actually we will just start of the whole game. But I think we have a pretty exciting year ahead of us. Can't promise anything, but it is planned that we have some new stuff available sometime next year. Maybe let's see what the time brings, but that's the plan. So I'm just trying to do it. As you can see, even if I develop this thing, I just need a little bit to concentrate on what I'm doing. So, and what I always like about when we talk about exhibitions, because this year every exhibition is digital. What I like about like physical exhibitions where I'm there, where we have our booth, like where people come play or demo there, is that I can see how the people play our game. Like we've already seen so many variations of people fighting this boss, like how they defeat him, how they act, how they approach him, and just seeing that at exhibitions is pretty like pretty cool for us, because we can see what works, what doesn't work, like what will the players later on like, what won't they like, and of course you can talk to us, you can share your experience with us, share what you want to have in the game, or what you like about the game, what you don't like. So it seems we already defeated 2 legs. There's one left. Actually, I don't know how much energy is left in him. Let's see if it is enough to defeat it. I was able to stop 3, so things the orb will show you if it doesn't have enough energy left to like unleash a certain ability. Because if you don't have any energy left, there won't be 3 slots available to slot your abilities in, but only like 2 or even just 1. That was close. But we did it. Nice.
What turned it
I think
off?
actually that's maybe my favorite moment in the demo, when this machine like puts this signal beam into the air and just falls down. Let's have another look at him. I just remember we have some pretty funny screenshots from the early days, of development. Actually, we don't have to go in there right now. We can just explore a little more. So this is another aspect that, especially during development, we realized how hard it is to like make a game where you just like, we would be able now in the demo to like walk the whole way back, like we were able to walk the whole way back in the builds before, and this is actually pretty hard to like manage as opposed to like level streaming and stuff like that, like having all the environments stream in and out when you're traversing through the environment, and you don't know when the player does it, but he can decide, and it's more like open world stuff. Like open world stuff is pretty hard to do, and especially because we're just 5 people and only 3 developers. Like the 5 people already include our awesome sound designer and composer. So it's pretty hard to do open world or open world-ish for us as a small team, which is why we decided to remove that, or like to make it a linear game.
More linear approach.
Yeah, definitely. So this actually is a shrine that the rural tribes created. They made them out of the machines because to them they're gods. Like these rural tribes, they pray to those machines because they're the creators of the world. They have to be something godlike, which is why they put altars of them into the environment. Like, yeah, make I don't know what the English word for Wallfahrt is. Okay. But they travel to those places to find their spiritual fulfillment there. And I think that is another one of my favorite features in the game.
That was a close one.
Because it's the stumble trigger, and I was the one like spreading them all over the level. If you see my work environment, it's mostly consists of triggers that are spread throughout the whole level. I don't think you can see much of the level anymore because there's so many triggers of stuff in there. And also the mushrooms are a feature we added later on.
It's kind of the same shader that also displaces the grass in the game on the foliage.
But so if you have any questions like about the development, about the project, about anything regarding us or the game, just ask ahead. As I said, I have the chat open here. There have been some, but you can just ask ahead. Because we reached the end of the demo.
No! Help!
I will just let the in-game sound speak to you. So yeah, as I said, we're on Steam, of course. You can wishlist us, or just like come over to our Discord. Our Discord is the place where we always hang out. Like, we're happy to answer all questions there as well. You can find us on social media as well. I will just restart this thing here. As I said, you can also try out the demo if you like. It's for free right now during Gamescom. And the loading screen is another cool feature, I think. That was also like implemented later, but I don't remember when exactly, actually.
Before Gamescom last year.
It could be Gamescom last year. Yeah, so we were at last year's Gamescom, actually, as you can see. Just for like nostalgic purposes, we put on our badges to make it feel like it is Gamescom time. Again. But as I said, like I don't know, everything, like both physical and also digital exhibitions have their pros and cons. I like the physicals a little more because of you can speak more directly to the players and to you guys, and have more interaction with the actual players. But opposed to that, of course, we can hang around here in my home and just sit here and prepare everything, like have an eye on everything from here. But also I feel like it's a little more, don't have that much control because you have so many stuff happening all the time, and at Gamescom when you're physically there, everything that's happening you see, like most like that. Like you have your game running in the booth on the PC there, but having the demo on Steam publicly is a whole other level because you don't know who's playing at the moment your game or who is not. And another thing is, so there's the Steam backend. I don't know how many developers are here too, but the Steam backend is a pretty rough place. I would call it, because
Looks like
the
some kind of barrier.
refreshment rates of stuff happening, of numbers and stuff like that, is pretty high.
Maybe that rune has something to do
I
with
don't
it.
know if you saw it already. We just announced it, like we had the new statistics fly in this morning, and we already had like over 2,800 wish lists,
Damn
which is
it.
pretty awesome.
Why are you empty again?
We would never have thought to have that many wish lists after just the first day. Thank you guys.
We'll get you charged up in no
really
time
awesome. That's really cool. Like we never would have thought to have that many. Like we had 300 something before yesterday
When we put up the Steam page.
when we put up the Steam page, and yeah, we would
Let's
have
go
never
get you
thought
charged
that
up.
this goes that high in numbers. That's pretty awesome. I think I can try a little more unlimited overcharge action.
So here's an achievement that you can get.
I'll try and hold
Yes.
him back.
Why not taking it?
That was another thing, like we specifically implemented for this year's Gamescom, because for us it's the first time putting anything on Steam ever. So we thought, okay, we have to do some achievements.
Come on.
This guy. And yeah, so we have 8 achievements in total in the demo, which you can get. Some of them are easy,
Finally, we can
some
get rid
of
of
them are not that easy. As Thomas said, you can get an achievement here during this fight. I won't hit over that too because it says that in the description. Just try it out and get it without looking it up.
Holy
The
shit!
description of the achievement.
That was close.
So
Man,
will it
am I glad
also
to have
be
you
in
back.
other languages? Yeah, so localization is something that, of course, we didn't have any time at all for during our demo development. But the final game, I think for sure, like we want to, as we want to have as many platforms and as many systems supported, we also want to have as many languages as we can support it, so that all of you guys can enjoy our demo. And actually, we will have another stream today at 8 p.m. CEST, where we will have a German stream, because we are a German team. I don't know if I mentioned that already. I didn't. So we're a German team from Germany, Gerbs. And so yeah, we will have a stream for our fellow Germans today at 8 p.m. where we will only talk in German.
In a Chinese stream.
And we will also have a Chinese stream, yes. Because we will have a Chinese guest with us. I can talk a little Chinese, but she can talk much better because she's actually Chinese.
Hopefully I'll never have to meet one of those
yeah,
giant
so
machines.
Chinese fans are invited to join us on Sunday. This is actually Sunday at 12 CEST, so lunchtime. We will have a short stream in Chinese. So if you're not that familiar with the English language or the German language, but you're Chinese or you can understand Chinese pretty well, just tune into that stream. I'm pretty sure she will explain everything in super cool Chinese terms, because I think every time I hear Chinese it just sounds so awesome. I'm speaking an ancient samurai language. Okay, samurai is Japanese. Don't kill me. But yeah. Oh look, I don't know. I got that one last time.
What caused that?
This is actually like when the machines created this world, like of course there was at some point evolution has happened over centuries. And so even humanoid life forms emerged. And actually the rural tribe I have mentioned sometimes already is like, yeah, an offspring from this humanoid life forms. There have been, I would say, two main branches of humanoids in this world. The one is the rural tribes that pray to the machines, like they worship them as gods. And the other one, which we don't have in the demo actually, because they're a little secret up till now. They are like using the machines, like they were like using the technology, using the parts of the machines, building stuff out of them, building everyday machinery out of the machines, using the energy. And actually they are the ones that created the orb as well, which was used to control the machines. Some really, really big machines before, which is why he is, kind of a power tool to use the energy, and you can unleash the energy and use the energy for different purposes. But that will play like a bigger role
What is
in the final
happening
game,
here?
or in the upcoming game, because actually your main goal will be to reactivate an enormous machine like lying in the mountainside. That is the plan for the main plot. There will be a huge machine,
Oh, that was a close one.
which you can see in the level, like really huge. You will traverse from the bottom to the top, mountain top, the head of the machine, and on your way you will reactivate certain parts of this machine to help restore the environment, because this environment, as you can see here and there are some points where it is not green, and where it is a little destroyed, like the place where the machine boss is here. And that was because of the war that happened at some point between those two factions I mentioned, the more technologically advanced and the rural tribes. They had some differences at one point, mainly caused because of the different approach they have to the machines, like the rural tribes saying no, don't touch them, they're gods, and the other ones saying yeah, but we have to use them, we use them for everyday routine stuff. And that caused a big conflict, which resulted in a lot of destruction, which you can see right now. This is actually the point where Simon comes in, some years after this big incident. This war happened, and which is why the environment is destroyed here and there. Machines are fulfilling their former purpose to some point, but more or less just roaming around, don't have any task anymore. This is the situation that Simon comes in. And we didn't have, like, at the point where we developed this demo, we didn't have any of this storyline laid out for us. Like, this demo was solely developed on the principle of having the enormous ability system. And having a boss fight in there, but none of this, the story plot points were developed in that time, which is why we didn't have time to focus on this stuff. The restoring of the environment I just mentioned, like in the final game, if you insert the orb into this arm I just mentioned, to reactivate actually the environment around the wilderness world. And that is another little goal for you in in the game that you were able to bring the environment back to its former beauty by using the orb and the energy. I was just thinking about but I will just this time. So if you get the hang of it, but we did implement some trick to that. Really? You can't hear me anymore. I can get a little closer to the mic again. I think it was because I laid it back a little. Captain Lucky Tango looks epic, thanks. I know who we are. Actually. So yeah, let's see if I'm able to defeat him just using melee. Actually, we like...
Yes, like a random pattern when you and it speeds up every time you watch it. So it gets like harder with every hit.
So but he didn't hit me yet. So that was surprising because I didn't think he would unleash the shockwave already. Because I don't think I was in the radius. But I was. So if there's something with the sound like you want it to be louder or the in-game sound turn down a little, just say so. Or maybe some case if you want to just some issues with this, let it know. So the lag on behind is actually the most hard one if you're trying to do it with just PvP. But yeah, it's just so the in-game sound is a little too loud for the game. So it's that should be better. That should be a little better. Hitting him with just melee. So I remember the first concepts for his boss. We had some pretty funny ideas for him, but in the end, as it like I think that won't change throughout game development. You don't have any time anymore. That's of course because we only had a certain time frame for our demo to finish in the master studies. And we had so many plans for the boss. And I remember Peter saying like 1 month or 2 months before the hand-in of the demo, he said we won't have a boss fight in there. Because he saw what that means to have a boss fight in the demo. It's pretty... yeah, it takes a lot of time to implement a boss fight and to make it right. Like I don't know how many times we already overworked this boss. Starting from the first demo. Because yeah, it was so many changes already. Like the camera stuff you see, we implemented that later. Like that you have this zoom out of the camera. And you can actually see the boss because before you weren't able to see the boss anymore if you were moving closer. Because the camera was just one angle. And now it's more dynamic. And I think so the plan is we like that boss so much that we plan to like port him over to the final game as another boss there. In the final game you will be able to get your abilities by defeating the bosses. That is not in the demo, of course, but that is the plan for the final game. If you defeat the bosses, you will get the ability they're using against you. So from this boss, you maybe will get a beam. That is also something like everything I say is like concept phase right now. We haven't implemented any of that stuff, but that's what we plan to do. And also, yeah, talking a little bit more about what this boss was supposed to be and what he turned out. We planned him to have certain phases actually.
Also, motion, so movement.
Yeah, so.
But we didn't have time anymore to implement movement.
Yeah, we wanted him to move. And actually, the thing with the legs was actually, that's something that stayed. Like, already the first concepts included having to defeat his legs because he's so big. But the plan was to, like, bring him down. Like, if he's moving around and you just are able to just, like, hit his legs, you're able to bring him down with defeating the legs, and then he's stationary and using his beam to defeat you, and then you have to defeat him again, or not again, but then you are able to reach his head actually and hit that. But as we said, like, we didn't have any time left to implement such stuff, so we just stayed with the hey, defeat his legs, and we have one phase for the boss. And I still think it's so awesome that we were able to do that in this short amount of time to implement actually a real boss fight into our game, into our first demo. And I like the shockwave and the shockwave sound. Kudos to Fabian, our sound designer. The shockwave sound is really amazing. So I see that some of my friends are in the chat. So I think this is actually something else that's interesting to talk about. Like, you can see that we implemented some triggers behind some of those obstacles. Like, if you're getting closer, Simon will get down and hide. That will play another big role, I think, or bigger role actually in the final game. Because I think that what we get the most, what is really amazing is that players like to, they go for the boss, like unleashing the abilities, hitting him, and then they're going back, like they want to hide, they want to have a safe space to think about what they're doing next and to be able to plan ahead, to like open up the orb menu, okay, which abilities I'm using, and that's a lot easier if you have like this clear obstacles in the level where you can like hide behind and say, okay, this is like really a safe spot for some time, where I can choose my abilities. Maybe in this demo they're a little too safe, but we will see what we will make out of that. So another person asking in the chat, can't you actually sneak behind its legs though? You can try that, but as you saw before, like if I get too close, when he's activated and I get too close, he will unleash its shockwave, which will hit you no matter where you are if you're just like close to him, and will bring you, bring some distance between you and him, like a lot of distance, depending on how much he hits you. So yeah. And I think the sword is pretty cool too, like having this energy flowing through the sword, seeing that there's also energy in the sword that he's using. It's pretty cool.
Should we maybe talk about the ability overhaul that we are planning? Or
I think, yeah, I mean we can talk about that.
or maybe even the next year of development that we are planning to do?
Yeah, like we are. So the next year of development, we will focus on developing actually a new demo, a new vertical slice, first slice of the game, but this time of the real game. Like, we want to build a base where we can build the final game on, and you will be able to, like, we want to have a certain piece taken out of this final game, again as a package, like you can see in this demo, but as part of the real game, like having some lore in there, some story points in there, again having a boss in there, some abilities. I think we haven't really decided which abilities or how many abilities we want to have in the new demo yet, like we have, I think the most exciting thing to talk about is what we plan, like what we concepted the last months, like the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months, to do with abilities, because in the final game you will have certain ways, I would say, to approach a certain situation, like a dangerous situation or a situation where you see enemies. There will be, like, the energy won't be in those charging stations anymore, only in those charging stations anymore, but also in the environment. So there will be places in the environment where this energy is flowing through, and you will be able to go to those places and just charge the orb there. And so Peter is in the chat trolling. So you will have these places in the level where the energy will be present. You will see that, and you will be able to go there, charge the orb. But of course, that won't go unnoticed. Like as you saw here, if I insert the orb in these charging stations, the machines appear because they have kind of sensors for this energy, and they want to have this energy. Like they're attached to the energy, they're attracted by the energy. So it's up to you to decide. Like if you see a situation, you see there's some energy points there. My orb doesn't have that much energy left. I want to recharge him. You can just like sneak to those places, insert the orb, and just charge him up. But that will attract the enemies around. Another approach would be like you can say, okay, that doesn't bother me because I'm charging the orb, and then I have energy to unleash the abilities, and I can just defeat the enemies when they're approaching. Another approach would be to say, okay, before I go charge him up, I will defeat the enemies first. I see the enemies roaming around there, I will go to the enemies, defeat them beforehand, so that I can charge the orb up unhindered and undisturbed, and I can charge him up a little more because, of course, the longer you charge him, the more energy he gets out of this source. And if you have enemies roaming around and floating around, you won't have that much time to charge him up, as opposed to when you have already defeated them. We will have different enemy classes also, of course. I think we haven't really decided on what this enemy class specifically will be. We have some concepts laid out that I think are pretty interesting. But yeah, overall we want to have this, as we always say in our pitches and stuff like that, and in our descriptions, we want to still have this tactical approach that you have to plan ahead, that you have to think about, okay, how do I approach the situation? Yeah, this is an action adventure, so we want to have the players to have fun using the abilities, to have fun playing the action parts. You will be able to just like use the abilities, defeat your enemies, and get through the game like this, but you can also make it a little more interesting. I don't know if that's really more, I mean, it can be interesting to have action too, but you can also say, okay, I'm using a more tactical approach, like I'm defeating the enemies first, then I charge him up to have energy for him to go against the next enemies, or even to approach the next bigger enemy. Because we will have, of course, I said it already, boss fights in the final game too, where you will be able to get new abilities to play around with your orb. And I think another pretty important thing to mention about the ability system and how it how it will change in the future is that we plan to have the abilities detached from the melee combat. So in this demo, if you played it already or if you plan to play it, you will notice that if you have abilities slotted in the orb, if I slot this for example, I won't be able to do any melee combat right now. I won't be able to use the sword to defeat the enemies, but I have to use the ability I just slotted to have my melee combat available again. And vice versa, like I can't use any ability right now because I have to slot it again. And that is also something that we plan to overhaul. Like in the final game we want to have the player to have the ability to slot runes but still use only the melee combat if he wants to, and then unleash the ability at a point that he chooses, he or she chooses.
Sheesh.
Coco's
And Coco is here, awesome. Coco is actually another colleague of ours from our master studies. She was from another team. They have done this pretty cool multiplayer game where you have to use a big monkey-like creature that is hanging around a level, and the other character has to place snails onto certain points in the level so that he can grab them and traverse through the game like this, and it's pretty fun. Want to know more about the storyline or how did he get in there? Yeah, so that is something that I think I didn't mention, but the member of the rural tribe I mentioned before, it's actually a teenage boy, a little younger or maybe around the age of Simon himself, and he is cut off from his tribe during one of the journeys I mentioned to one of the spiritual places, which is actually at the head of the machine, I said, lying in the mountainside. And so, he's cut off from his tribe. He doesn't know how to get back to them, how he can reach them again. And out of his, I would say, because he doesn't know anything else to do anymore, he has tried a lot of stuff already. He opens a portal because those rural tribes are able to use the energy the orb uses as, some kind of magic. And so he opens a portal to Earth, and there he sees Simon, and he sees how Simon interacts with the machines. He sees how Simon tinkers with the stuff, how he is using the machines to do various work and stuff like that. And he thinks, hey, maybe he's able to help me, maybe he's able to also use the machines in my world, or to use the stuff in my world to help me get back to my family and to my tribe, which is why at some point he decides to take Simon with him. I would say he hijacked because it's not something that he will not approach Simon and say, hey, do you want to go with me? But instead it will more be like an incident where there is actually no choice in that situation, no other choice than opening a portal again and porting them out. But Simon, of course, is pretty surprised and pretty astonished of finding himself in another environment all of a sudden, and don't know where he is. He doesn't know how he got there. Of course, the boy will describe some of that stuff to him. That will be our storyline. We want to have a lot of cool story elements in the game as well. We want to have a story-driven game too, so you will be able to follow this cool storyline of Simon and the other boy, how they need to help each other in this world to reach the head of the machine, to bring the boy back to his tribe, and to open another portal again to bring Simon back home. I think I already described, like, Simon is this teenage boy from Northern Europe who likes to tinker with machines and stuff like that, and he's pretty curious
That was a
pretty
close one.
attached to his family too, which makes the situation later, I think, a little more understandable for him,
Oh, that
because
was
he
a
knows,
close one.
because of course if he's trapped in another world, he wants to get home too, and so he understands that the other boy wants to get back to his family too. And yeah, while I'm talking, I'm just
That was
playing
a
around
close
with
one.
the stumble trigger again. The thing is, we don't hear the in-game sound actually, because then the mic would capture the in-game, and I don't want us to wear headphones all the time, because I think yeah, we can't hear each other
That was a
good,
close
and
one.
we have to put them on and off all the time. So I just decided to yeah, turn off the sound for us. But I think you can hear a lot of funny dialogue right there if we go into the stumble trick. I think there's a different dialogue if I walk slowly and if I walk fast. That's pretty cool.
It's almost an hour. No.
We streamed an hour already. Cool. Yeah, but I think if you don't have any more questions that we can answer right now, I mean, you can still, as I said, you can still join our Discord, come over to our Discord, ask questions there. We will have some more streams throughout the weekend. The German stream today at
and a lot more
8
content
PM.
will be posted over the next couple of months.
Yeah, sure, as we were starting real development then, and we will have some more content to show you, some more stuff to tell you. We will keep you updated on our social media all the time. That's because I think it's also pretty awesome that we can interact with you that easily throughout social media and of course Discord. So yeah.
Actually, this giant machine shares the same rig as Simon does. So actually, you can play around in the game as this big machine if you want to. Everything looks broken, but you can.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, and also the member from the rural tribe you saw in this quick cutscene, he also has the same rig, which is why in the editor in Unreal you can like really switch the model and just walk around with the hippie and just walk around with the machine, and yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I think we will cut it here. But thanks for watching. Thanks for asking all those questions in the chat. As I said, we will have some more streams throughout the weekend. You can find the event schedule on our Steam page. We can also wishlist the game and play our demo. And yeah, I think that wraps it up pretty good. As I said, if you have any more questions, just ask them. We will also have another AMA question on Sunday, I think, or Saturday.
Yeah.
Just look in the event schedule, it's all laid out there for you. And yeah, have a nice day. Try out our demo, wishlist Out of Place if you like. And yeah, have a nice day. See you around.